Uh,
Uh,
Speaking of Impact, next on the card,
mm-hmm.
Women's Championship, Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair. I, huh? I don't really have much. Like, I
Not,
like all three of those performers, and I'm sure they will do a
yeah.
bang up job, but I don't know the story or anything like that behind this match. I don't
Well,
have a lot put into it, really.
it's nothing really. They've just been interfering in each other's match. Like Asuka had a title match against, or no, Asuka's the champion.
Mm.
Belair had a title match and Flair interfered, and Flair had a title match and Belair interfered. So it's definitely like, I don't
Can you
know.
imagine going to work every day with the sole purpose of like, I'm going to screw up my colleague's meeting? That's all I'm going to do today. I'm just going to screw up that one thing. And then they go home. It's amazing.
Yeah, see, if work was more like wrestling, that would be great. You're sitting in a meeting, you think everything's fine. All of a sudden, a guy from another department, because maybe he's upset about something, comes in, slams down a bunch of papers, does a run in.
There's already folding chairs everywhere. My God. Wait, didn't someone get
So
fired from WWE a while ago for taking home folding chairs?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, one of the writers did. I think maybe two of the writers did. Well, you can't just
Yeah.
have chairs. You know?
No. Come on.
No, that's a fireable
We
offense
only
for sure.
we are only worth $9 billion. You think we could
We
be worth
can't give
eight
away
billion?
chairs.
You know, like come on.
They have to sit in a warehouse forever. Yeah, I don't like there's really not a lot to get too excited about in this match other than I like Asuka.
Yeah.
Well, I you know, Asuka as champion I think is cool, but I don't know if she's coming out of SummerSlam with the title still. Like I would love to get that Asuka NXT championship run,
Yeah.
but something tells me that Charlotte Flair wait, oh no.
That
Where'd
side.
my arm go?
There you
Oh, my
go.
arm.
Oh God.
This guy, oh God, lost in the sequence robes of Ric Flair.
We've all been
I'm not
there.
sure where is Charlotte Flair at in terms of breaking Father Rick's 16-time world championship record.
I think
She's got to
she's
be close to that,
13 or 14. Yeah.
13 or 14. So I mean, the
At
ultimate
least.
goal is to do that, and WWE is all about breaking records right now. Like they're like
Yeah.
Gunther is, I think, like a month and a half away from breaking the Honky Tonk Man's record, and
That's big.
I'm looking forward to the Honky Tonk Man doing a run in to prevent that from happening. Um, what? There's been a bunch of other. Well, Roman Reigns obviously is like a record-setting title
Yeah.
reign,
Yeah. No,
and
they're
you
big
know
into it these days. They
they're
really
they're
like to push these multi-year champions, which is kind of a
yeah.
throwback, I guess. But
It
yeah.
is kind of, but I think that's part of the success of the Roman Reigns storylines is
Yeah.
Roman is being built up as this once in a generation, once in like 50 years type sports icon. Like that's how they're
Yeah.
portraying him.
Yeah.
And they kind of do that with Charlotte Flair too, but it's a little different. I mean, they're trying and kind of succeeding, I think, of turning Charlotte Flair into, Ric Flair, where you look at him like she's so associated with the championship. Like she's
Yeah.
very rarely is Charlotte Flair ever involved in a storyline that doesn't have to do with the championship. Like she's
Yeah.
always in the title picture, just like Rick was, right? And so I think she's going to continue that trend up until she's at 17 and she'll retire as and be presented as one of the greatest
Mhm.
women's wrestlers of all time, which I mean you can
Yeah.
argue that she's up there for sure. I mean, she's definitely not the biggest icon of women's wrestling. Who is? Becky?
Yeah. Well, I
It
mean,
once was Becky. Nobody has ever been
yeah.
as over as Becky was, but she's not
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
over now.
That
Like,
was kind of transcendent of like she was the most over person in the entire company.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like that, and that's she was. Yeah, that's so difficult to do.
I
particularly for a woman.
I think it's
And
Becky. Um,
yeah, Becky
you
would
know,
probably be definitely in the modern age. It would be Becky
yeah.
because women's wrestling has undergone such changes in the last
Mhm.
15 years, right? So you look at
It's been
people who were
presented so
stars, yeah, like
yeah,
Stacy Keebler and things like that. They weren't really wrestlers,
right.
but they definitely elevated the image or
Yeah, I mean,
notoriety.
women's wrestling has been presented so differently throughout the years. Like it was, with Mildred Burke in the 30s and stuff. Obviously, like she's main eventing shows and stuff like that. But then
Yeah, her
you,
bra and panty matches were weird.
yes, 1930s culture was a little
Ugh,
taken aback by that.
racy.
Um, but then obviously you get into the 80s, and you did have this period with the Rock and Wrestling Connection when Cyndi Lauper was involved, and you had the Fabulous Moolah versus Wendy Richter. But like eh, the 80s women's wrestling kind of died out after the Rock and Wrestling Connection. And then it wasn't until they tried again with Alundra Blaze in the mid 90s, and they tried to take it seriously with her, but then it moved into, well, then Sunny came around, then Sable came around, and Vince was like, "Ah, I know what these guys want. They want TNA and Playboy." And so we got a load of that crap for a while.
We did.
And one person who deserves a ton of credit doesn't get it because she also gets a lot of hate. But Ronda Rousey was such a gigantic star in MMA
Mm-hmm.
that it proved to WWE that women athletes can be big draws, can make
Mm-hmm.
you a lot of money, right? And Ronda Rousey was able to do that. And like Ronda Rousey came in and instantly women's MMA was on par with men's. That's
Yep.
never happened in, like, I remember boxing tried with Layla Ali, and it
Oh yeah.
never, yeah, it didn't really catch on. I mean, the WNBA is cool and a successful league, but it's not on par
Yeah.
financially with the NBA, right? Ronda came in, and it just made everything feel so important because she's got such a star power where people either love her or hate her, that it felt so important. And when she came to WWE, she brought that feeling of importance with her. So when Becky Lynch is kind of around that area of
Mm-hmm.
importance, she feels more important. And then everybody said, you know what, this is our baby face here. And some people still had Ronda as a baby face, but Ronda was kind of, again, some people love her, some people hate her. And so Becky really became a superstar from that. And like, yeah, so like this mix of Ronda's spotlight, Becky Lynch being awesome, and Charlotte Flair's sort of um championship pedigree, I want to say. Like the
Yeah.
Flair name
Yeah.
uh being associated with world championships, I just think makes
Yeah.
them feel more important too. So it was this perfect mix that brought together the WrestleMania 35 main event. I have no idea what started me on that tangent. Who's the top
It
icon
was
in women's
impressive
wrestling?
though. I didn't want to
Yeah.
interrupt. Like you're doing well. That was
Anyway,
good.
there's a history
I
of
was
women's
learning
wrestling.
things there. I was like, oh, I was interesting. Oh wow. But anyways, yeah, no, I Becky is aces.
Yeah.
And Charlotte Flair is at this point though, I don't know if she needs a title. So maybe they'll just leave it on Asuka to, make us happy through to Halloween when they can have a scary match or something.
That's what I'd like. I'd like to see Asuka get like a really good run. But I also don't know if Charlotte Flair's gonna go baby face or heel. I'm not even sure what she is right now.
She's a
Wow.
Flair.
She's a Flair. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's a triple threat, right? So like really
Yeah.
anybody could win, and then they just do a singles match later. I would have to imagine that the long-term program for the SmackDown women's division would be Belair as the babyface and Flair as the heel, though.
Yeah.
I think.
That'd be a great, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
where I would head with it.
Belair's your top babyface in on that show, and Flair's your top heel. So
Let them do what they do.
that sounds like if you do a long program leading up to WrestleMania, that's probably where they're going.
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
That's all I got.